If there was one more thing I would add, I think podcasts like these are fantastic in order to keep your mind sharp, but you still have to do something. You still have to make moves. You still have to check your budget and apply for your financing and analyze the properties and tour the units and experiment with different rent payment processing forms. Like, you still have to do the work. I have seen a number of students or prospective investors who truly believe that the situation will convince them to invest. And that is not the case. You have to convince yourself to invest and then find a situation that works. But the deal is never going to be so great that it snaps you out of your own fear. It just won't be. So please use these to keep your mind sharp, but understand movement is still required of you.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Investor Fuel Podcast. I'm Olivia. I'll be your host, and today I'm joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with. Her name is Deandra McDonald.
Yes.
She's been making some serious moves in the real estate investing industry in Virginia.
Yes.
We're glad to have you here, Deandra.
Thank you so much.
I think our listeners are really going to take something away from you today about how you've been approaching your investing and building your team up and your goals for 2026. So let's just go ahead and dive in.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
So first off, for people who may not be familiar with your world, would you mind just sharing a short version? What's your main focus these days?
Oh, great question. So right now, my main focus is how do I best scale using private financing? It is not what I would have said 3 years ago or 5 years ago, but right now I have a lot of private lenders who want to put their money to work and not enough properties that I feel would be low enough risk to trust with their investments. So that is what I'm focused on right now.
Right. What kind of markets are you operating in?
I am in Virginia, and I love a 10 to 20 unit multifamily. I feel like it's big enough that it can support its own staff, but small enough that I'm not overwhelmed. When I go to tour 100 unit buildings, it just feels like so much. The systems feel also foreign. The staffing requirements feel so excessive, where a bunch of 10 or 20s feel like the next step up, but not too much that it would sink my overall staff. So that's what I'm focused on. I don't particularly care how we rent them, if they're long-term, mid-term, short-term, as long as they are making enough to cover all costs and profits and returns. And that's what I'd be focused on right now.
I love it. I think what caught my attention about you was the way you've been able to just multitask. You're kind of everywhere right now, and I'm sure that's not easy, especially in this climate. So what's been keeping that machine running smoothly?
Oh, my assistant. Ah! When I decided I wanted to expand, because of what you said, I'm terrible at multitasking. It is really a huge issue of mine. And so anytime I get an opportunity past what I'm currently doing, it feels like a ball gets dropped somewhere. And I have had that happen enough that I said, not this time. Something's got to give. I have to do better. And not just for my real estate investments. I'm quick to hire a handyman, a contractor, a property management company. Those felt natural, expected. But with social media and coaching and membership, it didn't feel as natural to hire staff to help, because at some point I could do it all by myself, right? When there were 10 people in the community and I wasn't offering as many classes and I didn't have as many followers. But as that has grown, as the demand for my time, the demand of my job has grown, I knew I had to hire help. So shifted or delegated a lot of the real estate management work, but also hiring a social media assistant, a director of content, honestly, has taken so much of that brain work off of my plate so I could focus on the things I'm good at and give the rest to him.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, we'll definitely at the end make sure that everyone knows how to get in contact with you, all your social
Oh,
media.
wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Now I'm sure there's a moment where things have gotten super real. Maybe a
Mhm.
deal that went sideways or a time that you had to pivot really fast. Would you mind sharing one of those moments for you?
Two come to mind. The first was my very first motel conversion. I bought a motel. I was looking for multifamily properties, right? Looking in that 10 to 20 range, and I had a low budget, high expectations, and I couldn't find anything, surprise, surprise, until I found this old motel for sale. And I bought it, and we converted the units into tiny little studios that rented for like $300-400. But this was my first property on a septic tank. I never had a property on a septic tank before. And I was told when I first bought the property that they were flushing the septic maybe twice a year, once every 8 months, right? So twice a year, maybe 3 times every 2 years. So that's what I budgeted for. That's what I planned for. And for the first 6 months, that worked. And then March of 2020 came. And everyone went from going to work to staying at home. And I did not adjust for the fact that that septic tank would fill a lot faster than my 8 to 9 months. I want to say I got it pumped at like January, February. So in my mind, I'm not thinking about this again until the fall, right? Because that's the timeline it's been on since I've owned it. And I remember going to sleep one night, maybe in May, and getting frantic phone calls from my tenants of like, I can't flush, my house smells terrible, what's going on? And I put two and two together in the middle of the night that the septic tank was full. In half the time, a third of the time it used to take, because everyone was at home. So when people before were using the bathroom at work, when they weren't showering just because they were bored, right? Or you're working at home, so you're showering home. They're showering at the gym usually, or using the bathroom at work, or you're eating at work when all the dishes are being done at home, and you're showering multiple times a day and using the bathroom. It filled, and there was nothing I could do. It was my fault. And that's the worst of the scenarios. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. No one is open. And I just have to, there is nothing. And I sent a text at 3 o'clock in the morning to all of the tenants. At 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., I started frantically calling anyone who would come. I don't care what the price is. And my usual septic guy that I love, he doesn't do emergency calls, right? For this, he's like, that's not my life. I like to book everything out in advance. You should let me know. And so I paid like quadruple my usual price, got it taken care of in like 24 hours, but it sucked. It sucked because it was my fault. It sucked because I couldn't fix it. And even Olivia, like offering to the tenants, I'll get you guys hotels. Go somewhere else for the night. My bad, because you can't flush, right? You can't. I'm not even saying like you can't take a shower. I'm saying you can't even flush the toilet because the septic is full. They couldn't get to the hotels. Some of them didn't have cars, right? Some of them had animals. Some of them had families. And it just sucked. And it was a mistake that I had to learn of. You have to be way more proactive. You can't just figure stuff out when it affects your tenants like this. And my second story is I was flipping out of state and I really wanted it to work where I didn't have to go. I really wanted to trust my realtor and trust my contractor. And I showed up to one of the properties I had bought based on the pictures they sent and the inspection they sent. And I learned that I don't want to say I'd been scammed, as in the property didn't exist, but it was not at all like they showed me. They only showed me bits and pieces of that property. And when I got there, one of the roofs totally caved in. And that was not in any of the pictures because I would never have bought a property like that, right? That's not my type of flip. And I had to eat it because, again, it was my fault. I was so desperate to have a system where I could just be the financial provider. I didn't have to also make the decision on the interior design and the exact property. Like, hey, as the realtor and the property manager and the project manager, you got it all. You got it. I'll make sure bills are paid, but you handle it. And they let me down in that case. But again, my fault.
Big risk, a lot to take on.
Yeah, for sure.
How many years have you been doing this type of work?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Ooh, I bought my first property in May of 2015. So this year will be 11 years. I was talking to my husband about this maybe earlier today or earlier this week. I'm a third of the way through a mortgage, which is so weird to say, like a 30-year mortgage. I'm more than a third of the way done. But it'll be 11 years this May that I started investing.
Awesome. Congratulations. I bet it
Thank
feels good.
you.
What made you decide to get into real estate investing?
I got into investing because I couldn't afford to live. I graduated college with a lot of debt, student loans, car notes, credit cards, and not a fantastic transcript. So I didn't because I worked all through college, right? Trying to minimize my student loans or just kind of get through the experience, I guess. And I didn't get job offers right away. So I'm piecing together these part-time jobs. I'm still trying to apply to other jobs, and trying to apply to a full-time job and a bunch of part-time is difficult because you can't even take off, right? There's no PTO. You can't even say, you know what? I will schedule it on Friday. I'll take off from my regular job. It'll be fantastic. And so I struggled a lot right out of college. And I remember thinking, this can't be life. This can't be I can't do another 40 years of this because I'm barely scraping by and I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have kids. I don't have retirement savings. I don't travel. I shop at Goodwill. Like I'm at the bottom of what I could expect to continue to do, and I'm still barely making that. So real estate felt like, okay, at minimum, I can live for cheaper than I'm renting. If I can just get a house for less than I'm paying in rent, I'll win that way. Then I thought, okay, well, if I can get a roommate in that house, then that gives me some extra money. And then I thought, if I can just stay in that one house for 10 or 15 years, even if I have to wait 10 years, when I sell it, I can then pay all this stuff off. I'll be back to square one where I have to start again, but at least the car will be paid off and I can pay off my student loans. And if I have any credit card debt, and maybe things are not good at 23, but at 33, things should be okay. Even from this one house. That was the whole reason I started with the first property, was just, it's not good today, but I don't really see a job making this any better because I can't get it. But appreciation doesn't require anything of me but to wait. So that was the goal when I turned 23, was just to get in somewhere that I can lower my cost of living and hold on to it long enough that the equity will be worth the investment.
Thank you for sharing. How inspiring.
Yeah,
Do you still have this particular property?
I do.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
Very fun. What's the next real big goal for you?
So I have professional and personal. Like, personal is I'm originally from New York and my whole family's still there. And I want to buy a brownstone back in Harlem, where I'm from. I We always joke that we missed the window when those Harlem brownstones were super duper cheap, and we did. But that does not mean there aren't still properties available. That does not mean there aren't still opportunities, and especially as I think of my parents aging, wanting to have them in one spot, and if I decide to have kids, wanting to be able to bring them to the spot their grandparents live, right? Like, just we could do summers in the brownstone, and that has been really fun to start exploring, because that is purely desire. That is, or it's an investment for personal reasons, not financial. Like, financially, I shouldn't because it's going to cost money, without making a return. Personally, I think I'm ready. I told you earlier that those 100-unit properties scare me, and they do. They still do. I'm not ready to go that big, but I've been in that 10 to 20 range for a couple years now, and I think I'm ready to go a little larger. I think I'm okay with the 20 to 40 range, especially with private financing, hiring full-time staff to take care of those properties. I am looking forward to what that could look like in the next year or so.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
What a very beautiful vision you have to spend your
Oh,
summers with your, if you do decide to have children, taking them back to their
yes.
grandparents' house. And I can imagine that would just fill you up, right? Like,
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
reach that goal. So supporting that vision for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So now I know a lot of people are listening. They're either in their journey or looking to level up. I think they'd really benefit from hearing all of this. You're inspiring me for sure. When it comes to building relationships and growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. I think one of the big differences was opening my mouth and saying what I wanted to whoever would listen. I think people can't know what will help when they don't know there's even a problem, right? I remember saying I wanted more female investor friends. I remember saying I wanted more female investor friends who were doing it on their own, like not even like a partner dynamic, because that's not the dynamic I was in. And not in an exclusionary way, but just like, hey, this is not well, he handles this and I handle that. We don't do this together. So, married or not, you're doing it kind of by yourself, and that would be really helpful. I remember saying I wanted more Black investor friends. I think there is a ability to prepare or relate or discuss of like, hey, is it uncomfortable walking in some of these spaces? Hey, can you give me some maybe clarity of what rooms you felt more comfortable in or not in, and why, and what can I do? Wanting more people in Virginia, because our market is very different than Tennessee or than New York or Texas or California or Arkansas, right? Like, everything can be specified. Everything can be helpful if you're clear and vocal about it. But the second big thing to expand the network is you got to show up and understand that your effort matters. I think some people genuinely think, and I've been talking to my membership about this, when they think about expanding the network, especially as newbies, people wanting to scale and joining meetups and the conferences, it's always there's a lot of emphasis on how it benefits you and how you leave that space more filled up or more motivated or inspired, but you're not thinking about how you can help the space. You're not thinking about what stories you can bring, or if it's food or a space that you could offer, if it's perspective, if it's listing, if it's doing the reading for the week. Like all of those things add to the depth of the experience. But I don't always think people consider what they need to sacrifice in order to be in the room. If it's your time, if it's your thought process, if it's your planning ability, if it's your stories, what do you want to give? Not just what do you want to get?
Yeah, really good point. Just life in general, right?
Yeah.
I think when we get to that point, that sweet spot where we genuinely feel that that we'd like to give,
Yeah.
um, that's where the magic happens. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to let everyone know how people can connect with you.
Yeah.
Um, who knows? Maybe someone wants to collaborate. Maybe they've just found you truly inspiring and you can grow your network this way.
Absolutely. So if you look on social media, I have my two biggest platforms are Instagram and TikTok. I love to make little informational videos. We're growing the YouTube to make more long form content. But if you search my name, Deandra McDonald or Simple Real Estate, either one, my handles will pop up. It'll look like me. They're verified, so you know it's me. So no worries about that. And I've just actually wrote my first book. So if you're thinking about picking up a copy, it's called The Multifamily Advantage, as to why multifamily investing is what I choose for me and my communities in order to scale investing. Please feel free to pick up a copy. Uh, and from there, if you want to get in contact more, my email and everything is listed on my website, deandramcdonald.com, or you could submit info, questions, or submissions so we can work together maybe in the future.
That's awesome. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you so much.
And earlier you had mentioned that you're teaching classes. Is that something you're still doing?
Sometimes, as we talked, mentioned, or as I mentioned earlier, as uh, desire for my time or need for my time has increased, a lot of the one-off teachings have gone down. So I have a membership that I work with people directly for like a year. That is probably where I teach the most instead of doing a one-off class because just time-wise, I can't fit into the schedule as much as I used to be able to.
Awesome. Is there anything else that we may have missed that you wanted to add?
If there was one more thing I would add, I think podcasts like these are fantastic in order to keep your mind sharp, but you still have to do something. You still have to make moves. You still have to check your budget and apply for your financing and analyze the properties and tour the units and experiment with different rent payment processing forms. Like you still have to do the work. I have seen a number of students or prospective investors who truly believe that the situation will convince them to invest. And that is not the case. You have to convince yourself to invest and then find a situation that works. But the deal is never going to be so great that it snaps you out of your own fear. It just won't be. So please use these to keep your mind sharp, but understand movement is still required of you.
Sense, yeah. Getting over that fear. Big leap of faiths, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing everything. You're truly
Absolutely. Thank you for
inspiring.
the invite.
We're happy to have you here. And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more conversations coming from operators just like Deandra, who are out there building real businesses. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.